Scion and just draft also around maybe a more normal jungle than the Udyr, for example, just because Khan is such a strong weak side player. Like, maybe we don't put your focal point in the draft there, but maybe, you know, if Bang and the Hens have another pop-off game like they just did, you could take a game and go to game 3. I truly believe Afreeca is at their best a team that can topple Damwon Kia in a series like this.
Yeah. They're going to ban away the Lucian. I think a lot of teams, after you lose to a Lucian, it just feels real bad, right? You just get dominated in the lane. He just ice skates around you, and there's not much you can do, especially with the comp that Afreeca had with the 3 melee, where they couldn't really get on top of the Lucian. So they're going to take that one away. They're also going to ban away the Syndra. So that's a couple of bans targeted at Showmaker this time around. They will leave the Senna available, and this time Lilia will not see the Rift.
I really don't want to see first pick Udyr. I'd rather just see a Kai'Sa pick up here for Bang and a more reactionary draft out of Afreeca Freecs, because, I mean, there it is. But if you do this, you give them the counter pick of Scion, like 100%. You can't ban Scion before Damwon Kia can take it if you're going to take something to pair with this Udyr. And then if, you know, retroactively, if you don't grab anything here that pairs with the Udyr to control the topside map, then that also gets taken away from you in second ban phase. So I don't like it given, you know, how that last game went. And Senna, as you mentioned, left open, and Canyon will pick up the Hecarim. Been a while since we've seen that from him, but very popular AD jungle right now in this meta.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. You know, you see it a lot into the Lilia, but you're just going to play it into the Udyr. It's very fast as well, I suppose, but does mean that Showmaker definitely going to go on to something a little bit more standard, some kind of AP mid.
Yeah, might just pick up the Orianna here as that third pick. Okay.
Give Lehens Thresh again.
Yes, please.
I'm very happy with that.
I want to see it. And they're considering something else here. But I do like that quite a bit, because we know what they're capable of. Bang's Aphelios has been really good too. But they'll go for the Nautilus instead. This is actually Lehens' most played this season. He's 3-2 on it. And I was talking with you about it in the break. I want to see his Nautilus right now, because Nautilus is so strong in this meta. And it's a champion that Lehens is super good at too. So not as much safety, but actually it allows you to dominate the lane. If you end up catching the Senna, you can actually grab turret plates and really start to get an extra gold advantage. So less safe for later on team fights, but the trade-off is you have more pick potential. And that's why they pick up the Tom Kench as a response.
I don't know. I'm never really a fan of Tom Kench. I think his time is up. We need to bench the Kench now. I think he needs to just be perma-benched. I just think there are better choices, better tanks that you can throw down there, stuff. You know, I know Tom Kench does pretty well with some items, but I don't know. Not a huge fan. But as you mentioned, you can kind of see what the idea is. Provides that extra safety for the Senna.
Well, now you see the Renekton ban come through, and then I think we'll see an Aurelia ban as well. So Afreeca can ban the Scion.
You don't ban Scion here. I mean, what are you doing?
You can ban the Scion if you want to play a more aggressive top lane, because they can't ban the... I mean, they can only ban one of the Aurelia Camille, right? So if you want to go down that path, you've got to ban the Scion.
I even heard the Korean casters talking about Scion. Like, can we just all come together and say, let's ban Scion?
Well, with a Gangplank ban here, it could be a Gnar pickup as well. And that was another option that they could have banned. Like, if you ban Gnar and Scion, and then just take the Camille or the Aurelia, I like that. Now, the Gnar is banned against them, so it feels like a bait, right? Like, oh, okay, I banned Gangplank. Are you going to ban the Gnar? And then ban Scion here, and then pick Camille. Like, they banned the Azir. So Afreeca is just going to leave
immediately
that
the
one
camera goes to Khan. It's like, okay.
You could just blind pick this. It's okay to blind pick the Scion here.
Well, this time the Aurelia is available, so maybe he's like, I don't know if I want to play that matchup, but let's see how he feels about it. Maybe he wants to give it a shot. As Zoe is going to be the pick. They're going to wait. They're going to see.
They're going to respond. But this is the scariest part of this for Afreeca, because they do have that final pick. And I mean, I think the Azir would have been insanely good. Like, if you think about the scaling that the comp actually gets if you have an Azir in this and what it sets up and what it can do with Hecarim together, it's very terrifying. So I don't really mind the Azir ban, but the Gangplank ban is kind of the odd one out, as they'll actually take the Scion away themselves. But where does it go? That's the question.
I think that'll go to Fly. I think King will play something else. Unless we see like an Orianna here. I think Fly is great on Orianna as well.
Yeah.
It just feels a little bit funky, you know, to throw Keen onto something like a Scion. But hey, I mean, great players, they can play the Scion and be very game-breaking.
Yeah, I don't really mind. See, I love this. See, this is what I was talking about. So now you didn't ban the Scion, but you've taken it away, so this still works. And now there's probably a lot of regret on Damwon Kia for actually picking up the Zoe first. I like the Scion into the Zoe as well as a matchup, you know. You know where teleports are going to be. You can actually set up to get those knockups. Like, this is a really smart draft from Afreeca. They didn't go about it the way that we expected, the Korean commentators apparently either, in terms of that Scion ban. But where we end up at the end of the day is really awesome here for Afreeca. They have Aphelios and Nautilus, so no Thresh, but it's still a strong bottom lane. The Udyr this time works so well with the Camille pick. And you've got a Gragas, which is somewhat stable, but it's nowhere near as stable as a Scion's going to be into this. So I'm a really big fan of where Afreeca end up team fight-wise with the Hecarim and the Senna, you know, and basically the front-to-back nature of Damwon Kia's poke is really strong around objectives too, so can't count them out here. But if Afreeca get an early lead, they can absolutely stomp on this game, I feel.
Yeah, I mean, I like the draft a lot here. It does feel like you're missing, again, kind of a hard AP carry. When you draft something like this, right, a lot of that magic damage will come through from the Udyr and all that jazz. And we all know that he doesn't do all that much. But they're not dealing with the Scion that they have to break through. It is the Gragas, but, you know, he's not quite a Scion.
Yeah.
In terms of trying to break through with just straight up physical damage.
It's kind of awkward to build Gragas, top Gragas very tanky too into a comp like this because you're going to lose out a lot of damage, but I think that is what they will do. And Tahm Kench can obviously end up being a little bit tanky, but not really.
Yeah, he'll just flop around with his tongue hanging out and not do much, except keep Ghost safe.
So I think this ends up being a way better composition, even though it's very AD heavy for Afreeca than what we saw in the last game. I like this a lot, and a lot of the pressure in this game is going to be on Canyon once again to actually kind of fill that gap.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see this one once again. We will hop on to the Rift for Afreeca versus Damwon Kia. Let's see how this one is going to play out. Certainly a lot more standard from the side of Afreeca. We see Fly back onto the mid Scion. Just showing once again that it does have the potential to be flexed.
Yeah, I think we should explain. I think it was against KT Rolster that he played at mid.
I think so, yeah.
Last week, so I think it was last Friday. But something that we've seen Fly in particular do before. So it's not like standard or meta, but it's proven that it works, and it's worked with this player in particular. In a weird way too, because of Fly. I think Fly is, like I said earlier, I think he's the most improved player on this team. And I mean that in that he's reached stability, right? And he's less of a liability than he was before. Because he was before like high highs, low lows, which is sometimes great, but on the other side of things, sometimes terrible. On a champion like Scion, it's hard to like mess it up. So I feel like it actually lowers Fly's variance like quite significantly.
Yeah.
So it works out as a player for him so well. And I think the coaching staff of Afreeca have really figured out what their players are great at over the course of just one round here. And in round two, this team is one that is knocking on the doors of playoff contention. And if they make playoffs, I mean, I could see a team like this making a miracle run. Anything is possible with our new playoff format. So just some things to think about. It's a good time to be an Afreeca fan.
Yeah, no, they're on the up and up. And as you mentioned before, you would really love to take this matchup against Damwon Kia because there's not going to be a harder matchup than this, right? You can bounce off of this one and you can kind of get that confidence and say, hey, we can beat any team if we can beat Damwon Kia. They got close against Genji, and they're certainly improving day by day. And they have the potential, even if it doesn't quite happen in spring. Definitely excited about this roster and what they have coming for the future. It'll be interesting to see what Showmaker can get done in this game. You mentioned it before, kind of the laning into Sion is like, well, I guess I can poke him a bunch and up my damage number, but how effective is that damage going to be by the end of the game?
Exactly. And also, like, even if you hit a sleep, for example, you know, you're not really threatening kills.
Yeah.
And it's difficult for Canyon to actually have any sort of follow-up. I mean, he does have, post 6, the ability to actually grab onto him and kill him, but otherwise, it's very difficult to set kills up there. Whereas the Udyr has a lot of potential for kill pressure in the top side of the map with this Camille. And then the side laning potential that Afreeca have is really strong in this comp. So, I mean, if Afreeca get a lead, they can just, even when Damwon and Kia start to look like they're having some good chances to win fights by poke and chip damage, then you just avoid those fights and you side lane and force those fights on your terms later on in the game. So it feels like this composition for Afreeca doesn't have very many holes in it, minus the damage profile.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that does play out into the Gragas. As we're taking a look at the reason why you ban away Senna from Ghost, he is, you know, we talk a lot about weak side top lane players, right, in the meta here in 2021, but a lot of Damwon's success in the later parts of 2020 was because Ghost was just a great kind of weak side AD carry player, right?
Yeah.
He didn't have a support around very often, and he was just kind of 1v2ing a lot, and Beryl was roaming around the map and creating plays elsewhere, so he had to do a lot of kind of solo play, and he was the best at it.
Yeah, something like a Fasting Sun is a great stylistic champion for him is, okay.
We might have a dead Nautilus here. He is going to have to throw down that exhaust immediately, but here comes Canyon. Even with the flash, he is not able to get away, and Bang is also going to get caught here. The perfect timing on the gank comes out from Canyon, and Damwon get a huge lead in the bottom lane.
And as it turns out, he goes for the Devour because Canyon is nearby and has had that faster track to get to this lane than Dread does, something that he knows because of the scuttle control. So it's a really nice timing here to actually go for that. And Afreeca Freecs just not respecting that kill potential there. And that's a fantastic start. 2 kills over to the Hecarim. And a lot of extra assist gold to Ghost. In the top side of the map, Keen is doing very well, right? He's already forced a teleport. He's been trading extremely well. But unfortunately, there hasn't been any follow-up yet. Post 6, I think we will see a visit from good old Dread, but still waiting for that one.
Bangelhen's returned down here. A little bit not feeling too good after that last play, but it will be extremely important to get Bang online once again. Camille's going to be more of kind of a split pushing threat, you know, some flanking plays that you can make, but you need that Aphelios for consistent damage in team fights.
Exactly. And ideally, you know, you want to win this lane and then start getting turret plates and stuff for the Aphelios, and then now that's just almost out of the question. As you can see, Dread is here, but Canyon has the fast track. It was here first. And I think that's part of why Afreeca were pushed up so far like that, is because they knew that Dread was coming, but Canyon was also there. So
yeah,
it's like you thought you may be okay, our jungler's nearby, we should be okay with this, but theirs was even nearer.
Sometimes you see the Ghost Horsey a little bit too late. He's a fast boy.
Ghost Horsey combo with Ghost in this game too.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Some synergy there.
Yep. You can see why they picked it. As we're really trying to force this play on the
This is what
con.
I'm talking about. 6 is hit. This is the timing. Hex Tech.
You have the cask available. He's going to hit Keen into the turret even as he just flashes over him and kind of laughs at them both.
And this is why we say that Khan is one of the best weak side players in the top lane. He not only survives, but almost threatens a kill. 1v2 there. So well handled on the Grog. It's not a Scion, but handles the timing super well. He knows it's coming. His reaction is perfect with the cask. And that's all she writes, you know, for this one. That's all she wrote on that exchange.
Yeah. The wave was pushing into Keen, and it looks like he's kind of kept it there. He's trying to deny as much CS and XP away from Khan and keep the lane in a spot where Khan doesn't feel safe from a potential follow-up gank. The bottom side pressure after that play in the early game is pretty obviously in favor of Damwon, so they just pick up the Mountain Drake here for free.
You know, when you make big plays like that, you know, that's often what defines an Udyr and strong side top pairing, like the Camille, the Aurelia that you see oftentimes with the Udyr, Renekton. What defines the success of the comp is whether or not those ganks and those level 6 timings with Hextech find success, or if it actually costs you on the other side of the map, because you don't lose that much as Udyr because he rotates so quickly, but what you lose on the bottom side of the map is massive. And that's so important when, like you said, the Aphelios really needs to be the champion who carries this game in terms of damage. So the fact that he's losing out on lane here, a lot of that extra gold is going over to the bot side for Damwon Kia. It's a bit of a problem.
Yeah, we'll see how it does get handled. You'll notice the Bomby Cinder first here for Canyon may go into a bit more of a tanky setup.
Yeah.
At least for his Mythic, as we do have Afreeca making his way, or their way rather, onto the Rift Herald here.
Very quickly.
Seems like Damwon have an idea that this is happening, or at least they're rotating over for it, but I think Afreeca were just too fast.
Yeah, they came over here, and I think Damwon Kia was just like, okay, we'll match a reset, but Afreeca were not resetting, they were rotating over to the Rift Herald. And look at the control wards for Afreeca all around, denying vision, denying that confirmation from Damwon Kia. So ends up being they get nothing out of this exchange. It's not an exchange, in fact, it's just Damwon Kia going back and losing the Rift Herald. So that's a good start. We'll see where they end up putting that gold. Might just be for the top side, because that's the easiest way to do this right now.
We were talking about the difference as well in the pick ban between the Nautilus and the Thresh, and now that you're up against a pretty fed Horsey, right, the Hecarim on the opposite side, Bang is going to have to be really careful, right? Obviously, the Hecarim has great backline access, and you can actually just run straight by the Scion and the Udyr, better than some other picks, whereas the Thresh may have been able to keep you safe against a fed Hecarim. We'll have to see what Lehends can do on this Nautilus.
Yeah, you've got Ghost too, so you're not worried about Nautilus roots. You're just going to get to go wherever you want no matter what with this champion. Speaking of which, he's trying to go quite aggressive. Lehends knows he's nearby, but he was not in that brush.
Look at Khan just laughing at Keen
Yeah.
from the side.
I mean, he's building tanky. We'll see what his full build ends up looking like, but he's just, he's going to be the tank for the squad, and be definitely difficult to crack.
Yeah, I mean, Keen was in a position there where he's not allowed to go back here.
Nope.
He has to stay because the lane is pushing away. He has to push it into the turret, or else he loses potentially even more than what a kill could give to Damwon Kia. So he has to take the risk and stick around, and Khan is just abusing him. But now they've actually baited Khan into this one. The cask is going to get Dread away, but no longer is the flash available for the Gragas, as Ghost is going to help keep him alive from the bottom side, and the teleport was interrupted in the mid lane. Showmaker will look to trade a kill onto Fly in, you know, the trade for the interrupt on the teleport. Here comes the Horsey, though. Canyon is going to get the kill onto Camille as they stick around for way too long against this Hecarim.
I mean, you could see Kian's face as well when it comes through. He's like, I should have known better than this, right? And the irony is up against a top laner who would.
Fly's like, yeah, good luck, buddy. He's coming back. Now, by the way, I've got my shield up in a couple of seconds here. He might just kill Showmaker. Yep, there's the shield. Oh, just out of range, and Zoe is just fun. Gets to get that speed boost.
Well, it's, you know, it's crazy too. That's another thing that Sion could do in this mid wave is like very easily deny a teleport, which is what made this, you know, even really possible for them to guarantee that top kill, interrupting that teleport. So that's a nice little boon as we're gonna watch this again. So I mean, everybody's involved, right? Sion interrupts the teleport, Ghost ults from across the map here. This was actually extremely well hidden and well handled too, because Khan's like, I'm just gonna deny you this wave, you have to fight me, and then Dread comes through, not the river, which they actually had vision denial there too, but he sells this very well. And then it's just, you see Ghost ults here, but it's not enough. The teleport is interrupted on top of the turret, as you can see on the minimap. That's why Fly, I think we're actually see the very interrupt on the teleport. He actually tanks turret shots to interrupt this.
Yeah, and then he lives. Like,
yeah.
This is the power of Sion, guys. Like, he just does whatever he wants. You're never gonna kill him, and he almost killed the Zoe as well.
Yeah.
And then, as you mentioned before, there's just a little bit of a overstay, not respecting the Hecarim and his fed self, going for the chem tank in this case. As we do have the Rift Herald down on the top side, they're gonna split the plates between the three of them, it looked like there.
But Showmaker's going to trade one back, maybe even two. this ends up being really well handled by Damwon.
Beryl is going to have to throw down the exhaust. He does have the gray health available here. Waiting until the last second.
Bang does have flash, but
Easily able to avoid that one.
yeah, not going to commit there. But he's going to get some turret gold, some plate gold, rather. It's not all bad here. Gold's kind of traded across the board, but Damwon Kia is still with a nice edge here. And I'm wondering what soul we're going to get this game, because if it ends up being an Infernal Soul and Damwon gets this next Drake and it can threaten Soul Point, they're going to have so much more control potentially over those objectives. And the Infernal Soul does so much for their composition in terms of how it's going to scale. So I'm a little bit worried for Afreeca. Obviously, we don't know what it's going to be. If it ends up being Cloud, then, you know, it's not that significant. And the Drakes won't be as important.
Yeah, the Infernal is great for both sides. And we'll get an update on to what that is here in just a moment.
Well, they can't deny this, so it's whatever it is, it's going to be closer, and it's Infernal, right? So now there's like a bit of a timer here for Afreeca on some of these fights. They're going to have to force fights over objectives. Uh-oh.
Is this where you kill the Scion? I'm not even quite sure. He's able to deny the dash as the ultimate will come in and fly, this time with no flash, will actually die. So it is possible. Keen is getting kind of baited under this turret, but now Bang and Dread are in the top lane. As we have more fighting in the jungle here, they're trying to get on top of Lahens. And actually able to try to dredge line, but it's not enough to get away. This avoidance comes in from Beryl.
Canyon's here.
One of the good things of the Tom Kent. Now they're kind of stuck under this turret in an awkward spot. Beryl actually saves him for the Battlestar, but he's going to die anyway. Gives that kill over to Showmaker. This is just turning into a mess. Everybody on the side of Afreeca getting ran down here as Canyon trying to get the kill onto Keen, but actually Ghost has to flash in and try to save him, and Keen just stands up to him.
Okay, Dread. Gonna get some vision here, does not go home. So Canyon actually got a kill on his way in, and they trapped him on the top side. Okay, this is really sneaky, but it's not gonna work.
Yeah, it's... Look at Canyon, he's like, yeah, good job, buddy. We really don't care about you.
And Showmaker actually, I think, had Heal Summoner as well, not that it mattered. Yikes, this is just better macro game here from Damwon Kia. The rotations are crisper, the value out of that they're getting from the rotations are better, and they have better movement around the map. And their advantage is getting bigger and bigger. And this is a problem because of that Infernal Drake.
He might actually be able to kill him here. He's got about 10 seconds until this cask, but he's still just running him down. The flash is gonna come in, and even with the dredge line, cast it. Oh, stopwatch. There you go.
Lan's just like, how awesome am I? Okay, like, I'm just trying to win a game here.
And he actually baits Khan so far into the enemy jungle that it's not looking so good for our Gragas player. They might even be able to hand this kill over to Aphelios. This is huge.
This is massive.
For Afreeca.
Lahens, man.
One of your win conditions there. And now they're actually going to find Showmaker in the mid lane, as he's got a stopwatch of his own and a flash that comes in. And Zoe, once again, fun champ, able to get away from the three of them.
Yep, she gets out. No problem. But that was a great kill over to the Aphelios. Bang is going to love that extra gold. And like, Lahens is just so slippery today. Canyon.
All right, let's give it another try here. We do have a Nudier around this time around. Everfrost does come in. Lahens trying to make the play now, but the teleport coming in now from Khan on the left side. And man, we got low health bars now on the side of Afreeca. Dread not able to do too much. Keen is trying to help out on that front line. Cannon getting very low. And that is a big streak that you would give over to the Udyr, as Bang nearly able to snipe down Showmaker on the top side here, as Ghost trying to help out, but I mean,
Bang's gonna catch him no matter what.
At this point, yeah, he's at least able to deny the gold. The 1,000 gold, by the way, away from Bang. And this is just turning into a fiesta. Everybody is just running around the map, as Beryl able to stand up to Keen.
These are trades that Damwon Kia are winning every time, though. Lahens is going to sacrifice himself to try to save Bang.
Ooh.
But he gets slept.
Yeah, and he should be dead now. The burst comes in. and a triple kill, just casually given over to Ghost. 303 now in this game.
What do they call him? The Penta Machine, I think is what the Korean casters are calling him right now.
Yeah.
Like, he is just turning them out. This one's a triple. And like, watch Canyon in these exchanges. What I want to point out about Canyon is a lot of junglers would not actually follow like this. And like, look at where his health is, and then he ults in, and he keeps going. He keeps chasing. Canyon trusts that his team is going to rotate. He knows that Khan's going to teleport in. This is why Canyon is one of the best junglers in the world, if not the best jungler in the world, is because he's so mechanically strong, but he also has a team of players that will help him push the envelope as to what is possible. I mean, like, look at this. He even has the Ghost ultimate as well.
Yeah.
And they're able to turn this around. Sure, he doesn't get the gold over to Bang, which is nice. And then this is when Afreeca decides, like, okay, Barrel's by himself. No, not actually, because guess what? Damwon Kia always match rotations. They're always able to come over and scoop up these kills. When Afreeca get a little bit too excited, too much seeing blood in the water here, and looking for these exchanges that are just obviously going to go their way. And then Showmaker hits the huge sleep from so far away.
Yeah, from a couple screens away. We're having more action here because this is game number 2, of course. Trying to get onto Canyon, and the Devour is huge.
I mean, he's keeping them there for so long, and they're going to turn this again.
I know, Fly is just dead. He's going to have to sacrifice his life this time around. As the other Everfrost comes in, and now Bang might be dead, as we have the Abyssal Voyage now coming in, and he's going to be sniped from miles away as well.
Canyon is a carrot on a stick right now. I mean, Afreeca are just running at him every time, and then he gets saved, this time by a Devour, and then Afreeca is stuck. They can't get out. I mean, Canyon is in there by himself, ulting, just trying to set up these plays. He's like, yeah, I'm at 1/3 health, but I'm going in again. And they're going to get a Drake from this. And this is the Infernal Soul point that Afreeca don't even get to fight for. I mean, Dread could try to smite steal and sacrifice himself, but they don't get a fair fight for this.
Yeah.
And this is, like we've been talking about, such an important soul for this game. This is like, I mean, I guess we're going to watch this exchange up here where once again Canyon just has no fear. He's like, I'm going!
Onto the Scion of all.
Yeah.
But then he sees Dread and he's like, oh, maybe I can steal away this
1v3. But he
does
knows
take the blue.
yeah, he knows that Khan is here to help heal. And it's like he just ults away, the Devour comes through, and now Fly's stuck. Absolutely insane plays here by Damwon Kia. Their macro game is so good.
Yeah, it doesn't show there actually, but Everfrost is really insane on Zoe when you're looking for just being a pick machine, which from ahead, it's pretty massive.
만년 소리 수면 터보아공 탱크 조이 미친 연계 용용용용
He's just calling out all of his abilities, right? He's like, Everfrost, sleep, Turbo Chem Tank.
Yep.
And yeah, he's just having fun, as you can tell.
Basically, at the instant, Zoe's nuts.
He's not wrong.
He's 2-0-6 this game with Ghost, who has his 3-0-5, so that's a lot of their damage in these fights.
All right, Khan forever alone on the weak side. Can he survive this one? That is about as good of a cast as it's going to get, but this one is 1v3.
Ghost!
The Senna ultimate comes in. There is no way, right? Okay. Yeah, he's actually dead. Even Bang is there. He's like, yeah, you're dead, buddy. But guess who's also dead? It's the Baron in favor of Damwon Kia. Free Baron, thank you very much.
Fly can't stop this. He actually shouldn't even try.
They have too much damage. They're going to take it down. Fly, he's actually getting in there, but he's going to be dashed away, and the smite does come in. Teleport now from Keen, as he'll just be slept. We're trying to get on top of Showmaker, but he just easily flashes away. And once again, just able to set up a front to back here is Damwon Kia. Canyon in the back line, kind of just going 1v3. As the Devour on cooldown right now. We're trying to get Bang in the front, but he just gets burst down. Keen now trying to take them down one by one. He's able to get a lot of them, and now Beryl is going to be taken out in the end eventually. As Dread will eventually, okay, there we go. Finally gets taken out. And actually does take away, I believe, all the Barons from Damwon Kia.
Yeah, this is a really nice exchange for Afreeca. They're going to have a lot more of these. As the Baron gets started because of this play, right? I mean, they're already on Baron. Khan is here. He has a cast. He delays this for so much. Even Ghost delay is important because it buys another 2-3 seconds here, even 4 seconds actually, for them to actually have this Baron. So they get it. and then you see the sleep goes down onto the Camille, but the rotations are coming through, and then Bang comes through and has massive damage output in this fight, and is untouched. That's actually the problem, because Damwon and Kia were stuck retreating around this choke, and then Bang is just able to do free damage. And he dies, but he'd done his job before it's all said and done. Like, it's over.
You talked about teams having your back. He had the utmost confidence that his team was going to have his back as he charged through. Because the Udyr was able to get in the front line, the Camille was able to follow up.
So much of the damage was spent onto Keen, and so many cooldowns were spent that he just knew that he was going to be safe to do what we like to call in Korea, free deal. I love using that word. It's like the coolest and smartest thing that Korean communities come up with. In Korean, the word for damage across all esports is usually called deal, because it's faster to say, and it's how much damage you deal, right? That's where the term comes from. So free deal means when you're able to just free hit in a team fight.
Yeah.
And that is what, for the most part, Bang did.
Talking about free deal, take a look at the Tom Kench damage. I was like, yeah, I hate this champion. Then he has like a pop-off game. Beryl is actually having so much fun on the Tom Kench. His devours have been huge, and he has done 4,000 more damage than his support opponents.
Canyon is, it's like he's always flirting with death, but it's just they never actually can take him out. His team has kept him alive so well. He's really pushing the issue. Did have to ult, so that's actually kind of huge going into this upcoming fight. The Drake spawns in 40 seconds. This could be where Afreeca starts to bring this game back after that Baron denial. So let's see. I mean, Camille's here too. Oh,
they're going to get that Everfrost on a Bang once again. The engage comes in from Lahens, trying to set up their own front of back. A bit of damage over the wall from Bang, but no overcommittal from Afreeca. As Showmaker, it's just a shooting gallery. He's hitting everything right now on the Zoe. Deny him the Azir, the Lucian, and the Syndra. He'll just pull out the Zoe. He's fine with that.
10 seconds on this Drake. Canyon's going in.
He's really fast, so he's able to scout there, and now look at that frontline fly on the Scion, not looking unkillable anymore. Is now once again able to fry front to back, as Keen this time not nearly as useful. The double kill over to the Zoe. Canyon's going to pick up one of his own. And, well, you don't need to chase that Udyr, but it looks like they...
Canyon just got his ult back up, so I think he wanted to push the issue, but Showmaker's already trying. He's already talking about the next series next week.
Infernal Soul.
Infernal Soul is massive. You know, with two. I mean, even with only two, it's just so much extra damage that's going to go over the squad. And this is what I was talking about. The tempo is going to go away for Afreeca. But let's talk about this team fight, because Fly was actually just getting dunked on this entire time. And after this exchange, where you see Bang go through, does a little bit of damage, he gets slept here. And he just always, oh no.
Well, they really want to kill the Zoe, but
can they?
It's getting more and more difficult, but I think this time they finally made it happen.
Canyon was not as close as I thought he was there. But yeah, I mean, the Fly on this Scion, this time he ends up making a play here on the side lane, but in that last team fight, he just got chipped down so early after getting slept, because Showmaker is a sniper. That you can't front to back team fight if you're Afreeca. When your tank is gone like that, their comp doesn't work, and there's so much poke with this Zoe, and the long range that Ghost has on the Senna. It's just really rough. Like we're at the point where like the Aurelia, not Aurelia, the Camille needs to be putting side lane pressure on, but she just can't do that realistically safely anymore. If she could, then maybe they could start to take fights on their terms. Gonna watch this one more time. Like, watch where Fly is, how much damage he ends up taking. After the sleep hits, like, he walks into it, but, I mean, that was just well timed by Showmaker. And you can't fight this anymore. Like, everyone's leaving.
Oh, okay. Well, Bang is just dead. Looks like a bit of a Canyon assassination. Maybe a bit of a trouble bubble there. Actually, Zoe wasn't there, so probably just the Hecarim making it happen.
Well, this game is all but over, unfortunately. Damwon Kia just looking to lock up this inhibitor turret. They can always rotate back to take Baron in 30 seconds when it spawns. I mean, they might just look to end the game here. Aphelios being gone means there's just no way to stop this push.
I love the Pengu top of the morning emote there. And yeah, I mean, they don't even have Baron, but it just doesn't matter.
Pengu top of the standings, Valdez.
Yeah. Well, I'll see you at the top. Or like, maybe I'll see you in the finals. Maybe, probably not.
Well, You know, it's possible. It feels more likely than ever for Afreeca, but in this game, Damwon just not leaving.
Yeah. They're almost just flexing on him now.
Yeah, it feels like
Just like
that.
running at them.
It's probably just go back and clear some vision and set it for Barrett.
Oh, not again. Another trouble bubble. He's going to be able to dodge pretty nicely with that X-Tech ultimatum, actually. And a good front to back here. Bang is getting a lot of damage, but it just feels like they're too tanky. They're too far ahead at this point in time. And Senna is just casually assassinating the Udyr in the back line. As that is going to be the ace. Canyon gives us a little shimmy, and we are going to have the 2-0 tonight from Damwon Kia over Afreeca.
Afreeca with some really interesting draft technique. Game one, you know, pulling out the Nasus did not work out, but clearly an attempted strategy against Khan Sion. Then bringing in Fly here on the mid side once again. But Damwon Kia is a different beast than KT Rolster. This draft was interesting, but it did not work out. Game of his life, 2 games in a row, Lehens, but he just cannot win.
Yeah.
The rest of his team falling apart around him. Okay, well that's not gonna do wonders for Canyon's KDA.
Canyon's having a real fun time. He really does not care about his KDA. He's